Good morning. First video of the week as we enter international break time. This was yesterday, and you can tell the market not reading the African World Championship qualifiers very well. 1.3 favourite. Worryingly, a huge amount of substitutions, suggesting they may not have fielded a first 11. Cameroon. Could have possibly have that same problem today. The first port of call, odds on favourites, gives us an expectation, particularly with these odds. Don't forget goals before half time. We can have a look, for instance, Cape Verde and Mauritius. Why such a short price favourite? If you look at the FIFA World Rankings, you can get an idea. Now, they've put in a new search facility here, which is very useful indeed. You don't have to trawl through anymore. Just search for the country there. So we've got Cape Verde and Mauritius. They might be spelt differently. Cabo Verde, yeah. That, I think, is the same team. 72nd against 179th. So that gives you an idea of the gauge there. Apologies for all the noise in the background. Got the old power tools out again, the neighbour. Having some good fun with them. Other matches, too tough to read in what is a very unappealing coupon in Africa. The Asian World Cup qualifiers, we can do the same thing here. Australia against Indonesia. 26th against 127th. So automatically you've got to focus here. Japan as well. Lots and lots of odds on. In fact, all of the odds on favourites are at home today, which is a good trading angle, really. Because these sides don't tend to upset traders. Even when they concede, they tend to only lose 0-1. So an interesting scenario in Asia today. All odds on favourites at home should make for good trading. UEFA Nations League, Croatia against France, for example. Likely be a top 10. No, it's not. It's 13th against 2nd. So slightly favour France on the rankings, but you can never discount Croatia, can you? Looks a very tough coupon for the market this evening as well. 2.3, 2.63. Very difficult to unpack. League A and B relegation is a bit more readable. A couple of odds on favourites at home. Turkey and Hungary. Austria and Serbia. So Turkey, I think they're spelt a specific way again. They're spelt TUR. So 28th in the world rankings. And they're playing 30th. So rankings-wise, this is not as clear-cut as the market suggests. Austria against Serbia. Again, use this search facility, nice and simple. 22nd against 32nd. So again, in that Group AB relegation zone, very tightly ranked, but the market has gone clearly for one specific side. So that's an interesting angle in and of itself. Who gets it right, the rankings or the market? The rankings are suggesting it's going to be tighter than an odds on favourite suggests. So that's it for today, really. That's all we have to do. I hope, be up and about, particularly for those 4 o'clocks, I think, in Africa and Asia. Odds on favourites at home should provide us with trading angles. But normally on an international break, I tend to have an international break as well. Internationals are very, very difficult to trade and unpack. Do we have a pre-match angle? Not really. I don't know how this is likely to play out. That's the problem. League football, you've got previous head-to-heads, nice and recent as well. You can gauge by teams around them in the league here. it's a little more difficult. Last head-to-head as well here, 2015. That also adds to the problems. Ultra recently, you can see a very defensive Portugal. Not conceding that second goal. That might be something for you to think about. That's very, very consistent as well since July 2024. And we've got Denmark struggling for that second goal recently. We take the Swiss out of the affair. Struggling for that second goal. So that could be a ready angle today. These are the kind of things to look at. And if you wanted to properly research international football, this is your website for that. The great thing about uk.soccerway.com is you can filter results by competition. So, as you can see here, Nations League this evening. So we can filter by Nations League results. Home, very solid for the Turks. Stand out, aren't they? And away, only losing really to Montenegro. Was it a must-win? That's the question. Similar story for Hungary. Put them under the Nations League, and that's their recent form. Apart from the Netherlands, they look a tough nut to crack. Away from home, a bit more vulnerable to big names. That's what I would infer from this. The big guns. Germany and the Netherlands, you can tell their rankings. 10th against 7th. So top 10 sides are Hungary's problem away from home. That said, back in 2022, good results. So top 10 sides have been the problem recently for Hungary. Turkey, let's remember where they are. Got to spell them right again. I think if we put a K, find the Turkish rankings. It's just that spelling that gets me. 28th. So we're not expecting a rout like this, are we? For the Hungarians. They're playing an outside the top 10 side. So these are ways you can possibly find a way into the match. Are they first legs? That makes it doubly difficult. Yes, they are, because this is only the first half. A draw would be okay. It's not a must win, is it? It's how Scotland perform. They want to keep this tight, use home advantage for the second relegation leg. So don't forget, first legs, internationals, makes for a tough old evening. I'll try to be around, as I say, about 4 o'clock onwards. That could get in quite a few matches, the more readable being the Asians. So I hope to see members of footballtradingprofits.com on Telegram a little bit later. But as I repeat, international break tends to see me just step back a little bit as we look forward to the run-in. That's when the exciting trading events tend to occur. So difficulty with first legs this evening. Some readability in some areas, but the rankings make it difficult to discount the away side, don't they? Have a great evening. I'll see members at about 4 p.m.